Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Shahrzad. If this is your first time visiting, my channel is about teaching violin to the beginners. Today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to help you to improve your practice. The first accessory we need for playing violin is a shoulder rest. If you don't have a shoulder rest, or if your violin is really small and then you can't find the small size, don't worry, you can just make something at home. For making a shoulder rest at home, we just need 2 rubber bands and a sponge or a towel. That I'm going to use the towel today. So how does it work? I'm going to put 1 rubber band at the end of my violin and then the other one like this. Then I'm going to put a towel or a sponge at this part. And then it's going to do the same thing as a shoulder rest. But the shoulder rest is better. So the other thing that they made these days is a bow corrector. So what a bow corrector, this is bow corrector. You're going to install it in the middle of the violin, and then it helps us to go straight down and off. Also, it helps us to go on a fingerboard, because when we use our bow, we have to play on this empty space. So if you don't have that, don't worry. You just need a tape and pencils for making something like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick a piece of tape and I'm gonna tape it on this part, and I'm gonna put a pencil like this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other part. You can ask your parents to make one for you, like this. As you see, when you use your bow, it's gonna help you that you don't pass it and you don't go on a fingerboard. So if your bow is crooked, I sometimes use 2 more pencils. I'm gonna stick the other one a little bit far from the first one. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other part. Most of the time, I'm just gonna use 2. I'm using just 2 pencils, so you don't need the 4 of them, like this. And then when you want to start to practice, as you see, you're gonna put your bow in the middle of these 2 pencils. It's gonna help you to go straight down and up and avoid to go on a fingerboard. The other thing that sometimes you can buy but you don't need is a wrist corrector. So what does a wrist corrector do? It's stuck here and it helps our wrist to stay like this, because we don't have to do this. When you do this, most of the time the kids, they using the wrist like that. It's not that comfortable. You can use just a wristband to make something like that. So what I'm gonna do, I wear any kind of wristband and I'm gonna feel it with a towel. I use clean socks right now. So I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna use another one. My violin is big, so if most of the time the kids just, because the violin is smaller, you just need like one thing to feel this. So as you see, I feel this wristband. So when I hold my violin and I'm gonna hold, even if I want to bend my wrist, I don't have any space. So it helps me to keep my wrist like that. The other thing that there is no accessories for that is something that keep my thumb at the end. So what I'm gonna do again, I'm gonna put a rubber band at the end, and I'm gonna stuck their thumb here. So when they start and then you have to play on the first position, your thumb should be at the end. But most of the time, the kids, they put their thumb here in the middle or not at the beginning. So this rubber band helps them to keep their thumb at the beginning. You know, the shoulder rest is always like it needs always. So you always have to use this. But the bow corrector, the wrist corrector, the rubber band, and this kind of stuff, they are not forever. You just can use them for a month or 3 weeks or more to correct yourself. You know, when I was starting playing violin, none of them exists. So just use them, and when you practice, think what are you doing, then you're going to use the right thing. So today we covered 4 accessories. One of them was the shoulder rest, one of them was the bow corrector, a wrist corrector, and then the rubber band at the beginning to keep your thumb at the very end. So if it's helpful, please let me know. Also, if it's helpful, please share this video to your friends. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's pick up your violin and practice.